Yam Padmanabhasya Mukhapadmat Vinisrutaha. The Gita has come out from the lotus-like mouth of the Padmanabha, the Lord Mahavishnu himself. There is no other book, sacred book of this kind where it is taught in the battlefield, and it is taught by none other than the Supreme Lord himself. Its popularity is very well known to every one of us. It touches our heart, it pleases our mind, and it satisfies our intellect. So we have to study the Gita. Not only a Hindu has to study, everyone who is interested in spirituality and practical spirituality has to study this. And it is an all-embracing universal gospel of Adhyatma, the spirituality. That is why we have taken this study of this Gita. So we have to be very earnest, we have to be sincere. It is not doing just to worship Krishna, it is to the Krishna's liking. Krishna very much likes, very much be happy if he can put his teachings into practice. That is very, very important. Krishna will be very much pleased. He says, my bhakta who practices my teachings is very dear to me. He says in the Gita itself. So we have to please Krishna. Tasmin tushte jagat tushtam. When we can please the Lord, the whole world will be pleased. The only way of pleasing the Lord, worshipping the Lord, showing our devotion to Lord, is to dedicate our mind, body, and intellect to Him, surrendering everything to Him, and follow the Gita teachings. So we will take up the study of the Gita in a very steady manner. There is no hurry at all. Let me try to explain the Mangala Shloka I have just chanted, and before that we have to salute the Lord Krishna. Vasudeva Sutam Devam. This Deva, the Supreme Lord, incarnated himself, was born in the womb of Lord Devaki. Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. He killed demons like Kamsa and Chanura. All these divine deeds of the Lord Krishna have mystical meaning. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavadgita, Janma karma cha me divyam. My janma and my karma, both are of divine origin. And Krishna just appeared before his parents, Devaki and Vasudeva. And he did not leave, or he was not in the womb for the 9 months. His birth itself is of divine providence, something mystical, mysterious. And his all deeds, divine deeds, are very much symbolic. We read in Bhagavata that he killed many demons, Rakshasas. He is now also killing the demons. The demons are within us. We have a lot of demons within our mind, within our intellect. Raga, Dvesha, all these passions, evils we have in our mind. We had to allow Krishna to kill all these passions. And these are all the real demons for us. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. Devaki Paramanandam. His mother was extremely happy when Krishna was born. Krishna appeared in Chaturbhuja Rupa. He had 4 arms. He was just like the Lord Mahavishnu, but in a miniature form. And Bhagavata beautifully describes that wonderful form of the Lord Krishna, the baby Krishna. So the symbology here is the Lord gives immense happiness and immense bliss to each and every one of us. Krishna attracts us. One who attracts is called the Krishna. He is bewitched, his wonderful beauty, his wonderful personality and wonderful teachings found in the Bhagavadgita should attract us towards him. And it gives immense joy, immense bliss to read the Gita and to follow its teachings, because we are following not an ordinary teacher but the Jagat Guru himself, the Lord of the universe, the Guru of the whole universe, the world teacher himself. With this sincerity and devotion, we have to approach the Gita. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande. We salute Lord Krishna. Where is Lord Krishna? He is in our own hearts at Antaryami, indwelling controller. We need not seek him outside in temples. Our heart is itself a beautiful temple. If we are sincere, if we are dedicated, if we are free from all kinds of passions, our mind itself will become temple where Krishna shines, and Krishna comes and sits on the seat of the heart. And he is the world teacher. In due course you will come to know why Krishna is called the Jagat Guru, the world teacher. Literally he is Jagat Guru. It is not an exaggeration at all. Whoever reads the Bhagavad Gita are thrilled, whether they come from Western countries or from the Eastern countries, Hindus, non-Hindus, whoever, because Krishna's teaching is universal, Catholic, all-embracing. He sees man as man. He teaches the whole humanity. There is no distinction of caste and creed or nationality in his teachings. He is teaching for the whole humanity. This is the greatness of Krishna. And Krishna is such a great personality, wonderful personality, the Lord Vishnu himself who has incarnated on this earth. So his teachings also, as we will study in depth in these classes. The second Mangala Shloka I chanted is Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata Narayanena swayam. Narayana, the Supreme Lord Himself, is teaching this Gita to the Arjuna, to Arjuna. Parthaya pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena. Who is Krishna? Krishna is not a partial incarnation. He is not a partial. He is not Amshavatara, as in the case of other avatars. Bhagavata describes that he is the Purnavatara. Krishna is born with all the majesty, all the divine attributes of the Lord Mahavishnu. That is the conviction you will get when you read Bhagavata. So the Lord Narayana himself is teaching the Nara, the human being, Arjuna. Parthaya pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena swayam. The words uttered by the Lord Krishna was given to us in the written form by the sage Vyasa. Vyasena gratitam Purana Munina. He is Purana Muni. He has written many Puranas, and the Itihasa, very magnum opus of his writings, is the Mahabharata with more than 1 lakh shlokas. And he included Bhagavadgita, the holy conversation between the Lord Krishna and the Arjuna, in the Mahabharata. Vyasena gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam. It is Gita. Gita, the word, is feminine in Sanskrit. It is our mother. It is showering Advaitamruta Varshini. It is showering the Advaita teachings to us. You can be united with God. You need not remain a mortal. You can become immortal. You need not lead a miserable life. You can lead a wonderful life dedicated to the Lord. You can be a spiritual person. Even a man on the street can lead a spiritual life. There is no worldliness as it is. Everything can be spiritualized. Every work can be spiritualized. Every thought can be spiritualized. Every thought, every action can be dedicated to the Lord, can become holy. This is what is meant by Advaitamruta Varshini. The Gita, our mother, is showering the teachings of the Advaita, the principle of unity, principle of oneness of existence and the divinity of human being. Advaitamruta Varshinim Bhagavatim. It is as equal to the Bhagavan himself, because these teachings are come from the Bhagavan, the Lord. So it is Bhagavati. Ashtadashadhyayinim. It contains 18 chapters. Each chapter is called a yoga. Even Arjuna Vishada, the sorrow of Arjuna, is a yoga. Yoga means union with God. So there are two meanings to yoga, the word yoga, in our Indian tradition. One is the union, another is concentration. Bhagavad Gita deals with both aspects of this yoga. It explains yoga in both dimensions, yoga as union with God and yoga as concentration. Ashtadashadhyayinim. Amba, this is a very significant word. the composer of this beautiful Mangala Shloka, addressing Bhagavad-gita as the mother. She is our mother. Mother is one who protects, nourishes the child. Bhagavad-gita protects us from adharma, evil tendencies, bad ways of life, and also it nourishes with spiritual sustenance. It is not enough to have the physical food. It is very important, equally important, more important to have the spiritual food, spiritual nourishment. Bhagavad-gita gives us spiritual nourishment. With physical food, only body becomes strong and body grows. But with the spiritual food being given by the universal mother, Bhagavad-gita, an ordinary human being becomes divine himself or herself. We will no longer be mortals, we will no longer be afraid of death. We will lead a life of freedom, mukti. Even in this life, it is possible. It is possible to be desireless. It is possible to free from all kinds of passions. It is possible to completely dedicate our life, surrender our whole being to the Lord and lead a divine life, even while living a householder's life, even while we continue to do our work. This is the greatness of the Gita. There is no need to go to forest. There is no need to become a monk or a nun. The Gita asks us to continue to do whatever work we are doing now and to transform ourselves into spiritual personalities. This is the greatness of the Gita. Spiritual food, spiritual nourishment we get. That is why this Gita is addressed by the composer of this Mangala Shloka, Amba, O Mother. What is our duty to the mother? Mother expects nothing from the child. But we have a duty to this mother, the Gita. We have to do anusandhana of the Gita. What is anusandhana? Anusandhana can be understood in various ways, in different dimensions. First, we have to thoroughly study the Gita. The best way to start the study of the Gita is to learn to read the text, shlokas, word by word meaning, and then anvaya, prose reading, and then with the help of a good commentary, we have to learn the inner meaning of the explanation of the each shloka. This is how the Gita has to be studied. We have number of modern interpretations. Hundreds of books have come out. And also since the beginning of the history, the sages, the wise men, the Mahatmas, the great sannyasis have written commentaries on this Gita. But the earliest and the most beautiful authoritative commentary on the Bhagavad Gita is Shankara Bhagavatpadacharya's commentary. It is the earliest, perhaps the first commentary on this great work. What we are doing in these classes, we closely follow the Shankara Bhashya so that we can study this book in a traditional manner. Tradition is very important to study any text. Of course, we can have our own opinion. We can interpret the text in various ways. The freedom is there, and the many scholars have exercised this freedom. But as spiritual aspirants like us, it is better to follow the tradition. So it is a wonderful journey for us. Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada, Sri Shankaracharya shows us the way, and he gives explanation to the each word and gives insight into each word and how to understand the meaning of the each word and get benefit, spiritual benefit out of it. So we are guided by Sri Shankaracharya in our study of the Bhagavad-Gita. Of course, we will look into other interpretation and explanations also. Amba tvam anusandadhami. Study is the primary meaning of anusandhana, but a contemplation is the higher meaning to the anusandhana. Contemplation of these verses and the meaning is very, very important. How I can adopt these teachings in my life, how they can transform my life into divine. This kind of thinking, contemplation is a must. And these are mantras. That's why this Gita is equated with the Upanishad itself. Bhagavad-Gita is an Upanishad, and the Lord Krishna is a sage. So these mantras are to be contemplated upon. This is the secondary meaning or the higher meaning of the Anusandhana. And of course, the highest meaning is practice of these high ideals. When Lord say, do it, and we should be ready to do it, adopt it in our day-to-day life. It is very essential. Our life should be a Gita life. Our way of doing things should be Gita way. Then only it is fruitful that we have taken up the study of the Gita in such an earnestness and sincerity. Bhagavad-Gita, it is often said, is the essence of the Upanishads. But I argue that Bhagavad-Gita is not only the essence of the Upanishad, Bhagavad-Gita is the essence of the whole Vedas. In order to understand this, we have to dwell deep into the meaning of the Veda, what Veda stands for. Vedas contain three parts mainly. One is Karma Kanda, another is Upasana Kanda, and the third one is Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda is intended for ordinary people like you and me. We do things out of desire. All our actions are guided by the desires and selfish desires. That is why we come into grief. When we do works in a selfish manner, the fruits we will get may be good or bad, and our life will become next to brutes. There will be no difference between our human beings and the animals, because animals also do every action instigated by kind of passions and the desires. And Vedas teaches to do the work systematically following the ethical path. We can fulfill our desires. It is not bad. It is not wrong to have the desires and fulfill them, but we have to fulfill them in the rightful manner. That is why the Vedas teach us dharma. The goals are artha and the kama. Artha means wealth and the kama means fulfilling various kinds of desires. So in order to acquire wealth and fulfill desires, we need not be animal-like. Let us follow the right path. Let us follow the ethical path. Let us have good conduct. We can amass wealth as well as we can fulfill our desires by following the path of dharma, the righteousness. And this is the intention of the karma kanda. The intention of the upasana kanda is, after having done work for several years, we get disgusted with those works, because works involve only sadhya and sadhana, the goal and the means, nothing more than that. And all the goals are of temporary nature. They will never give permanent happiness. Where I should find the permanent happiness? In God. So I try to contemplate, I try to meditate, I try to get united with my chosen deity, a manifestation of divine. And Upasana Kanda or Aranyakas will teach you how to meditate. They prescribe various types of meditations. But that is not enough. We have to have the knowledge of reality in order to be completely free from the bondage of samsara. After undergoing the strenuous training in the meditation, one will understand one should have the knowledge of the reality called Brahman or Atman. So one strives for that. One renounces the world and strives for and lead a life of sannyasa, or they renunciate. One dedicates his life for the sake of knowledge and knowledge only. And the Jnana Kanda, the Upanishads, are meant for such high caliber people of high caliber. So there are several stages in the human life. The Vedas cater to each stage. If you are full of desires, Vedas will ask you to follow the dharma and fulfill desires and accumulate, amass the wealth also, artha and kama. If you are not satisfied, if you want to lead a life of contemplation, and Vedas will teach, Upasana Kanda will teach you how to meditate and go about and in an earnest manner, sincere manner. And lastly, when you are not satisfied even with the meditation, when you aspire for knowledge of Atman, reality, then Upanishads will come in and will teach you the greatest truth of all. Tattvamasi, you are that. Brahman, Atman, the greatest teaching in the world. And our Bhagavadgita is a compendium of all these ideals. It contains karma yoga, how to convert an ordinary action into spiritual action, and how to learn meditation. Without karma yoga, we cannot have meditation because the mind has to be purified. The purified mind can only meditate. Meditation needs two things, two requirements for meditation. One is purity of mind and the concentration of the mind. One can get this only by following the karma yoga. Unselfish actions dedicated to the Lord. Shankaracharya beautifully puts Bhagavad Aradhanam karma. And how to do this contemplation and the actions out of love for God. Without love for God, karma yoga will be a meaningless, because you have to dedicate the works to God. And Gita teaches how to love God, how to fix the mind on God, how to remember God even we are working in our day-to-day life. If we are maybe extremely busy persons, still we can lead a spiritual life, and Gita teaches that. So this is Bhakti Yoga for us. So we have so far Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and the Yoga of Dhyana Yoga. And lastly, if you are ready, your mind is purified, if you aspire for the highest knowledge of Atman, and Gita teaches that also, knowledge, Jnana Yoga. So Gita reflects the spirit of the whole Veda. Gita reflects the spirit of Karma Kanda. Gita represents the tenor of the Upasana Kanda, and Gita teaches the essence of the Bhakti. Bhakti is also there in the Vedas, and also the highest knowledge embedded in the Upanishad. So Krishna is not an ordinary incarnation. He is a revolutionary leader in this respect. So we have to study Krishna's life from the historical point of view also. Krishna departs from that prevalent Vedic system of rituals and yajnas, etc. What happened is, in Krishna's time and even earlier to that, the Vedic system was degenerated into vulgar exhibition of the rituals and the yajnas, sacrifices, etc. The priests were simply troubling the ordinary people, and dharma was limited to only rituals, and there was no real spiritual content at all, spiritual substance at all. And Krishna, there was a silent revolution at the time, and the silent revolution was spearheaded by none other than the Sri Krishna. And Krishna showed it is not the real spirit of the Vedas. What Vedas preach is pure spirituality, and you have delineated into, or you have reduced it into gross ritualism. It is undone. We had to go back to the Vedas. We had to go back to the teachings of the Vedic sages. That is what he had done in his Bhagavadgita. So, as I have already told you, Bhagavadgita represents the true spirit of the Vedas. And the very second chapter, he condemns those people who use the Vedic lore for the selfish ends. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. He orders Arjuna. He tells Arjuna, these Vedas ritualistic portion, or the only ritualism, consists of 3 gunas. That means it is confined to Prakriti, it confines to only material things. But you have to transcend it. You have to become spiritual. Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. Nirdvandvo Nityasastvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan. You have to be free from the dualities of happiness and the misery, failure and the success. You have to go above that. Nirdvandvaha, Nityasatvastaha. Always you should maintain equanimity in your mind, never troubled by the happenings of the external world. Niryogakshema. Shankaracharya defines Yogakshema. Yoga means accumulation. Always accumulating things, whether we really want it or not. That is yoga. Kshema means all our efforts in safeguarding that, protecting that is kshema. So our whole life spends on this yoga and kshema, that's all. We have no time to remember God. We have no time for spirituality. Krishna condemns that worldly attitude in the name of the Veda. And he says, Niryoga Kshema, give up that idea of Yoga Kshema, accumulating things and protecting them. Don't become a worldly man, become a spiritual man. Even while working, you can be a spiritual person. A phrase in the Gita summarizes the whole essence of the Bhagavadgita. And what is that? Mam anusmara yudhyacha. It's a beautiful phrase. Mam, I am the Supreme Lord. Anusmara, always think of me and also fight. Here we find the beautiful blending of all the four yogas. Supreme Lord, I am the Supreme Lord. So one should try to understand the nature of the reality. Who is that Supreme Lord? I want to know. Gita helps us, and that is Jnana Yoga. Who is the Ishvara, whom we should worship, contemplate, meditate? And Gita will tell you in a very simple manner, in a direct manner, and that is Jnana Yoga for us. Mam anusmara, always think of me, always remember me, go on remember me. There should not be a single minute where you do not remember me. Mam anusmara, always, anu means again and again, repeatedly. So this marana needs concentration. Constant concentration it needs. You can get concentration only by meditating. Meditation is the tool through which we can remember God in the rest of the time. It is not enough if we try to remember God only during the meditation. Meditation is a helping factor. Meditation helps us to remember and concentrate on God the rest of the time, rest of the day. Mam anusmara. So if you want to remember God, you have to love God. If you don't love a person, you will not get the remembrance of him. You won't remember him. We have to love God, heart and soul. He should be the dearest object for us, more than our family, more than our own being. Krishna, the Lord, Sri Ramakrishna, should be the most dearest person. We have to shower all our love, all our emotions, we have to direct towards that Lord. This is Bhakti Yoga for us. Already we have covered the three yogas. Mam means the Supreme Lord. We have to have the knowledge of the God. Second, Smarana, Ma Manusmara. We should try to remember God. Remember needs practice, concentration, meditation. That is Dhyana Yoga. Gita teaches how to meditate effectively. And the third one is, if you work or if you contemplate, you should love that person for whom you are working, on whom you are meditating. Without love, meditation is not possible. Emotionally, we have to attach to God. As Sri Ramakrishna said, we are attached to this world, but it is now time for us to attach to God. We should feel immense attraction towards the Supreme Lord. Gita teaches how to practice it. Feeling immense attraction towards the great Lord, Lord Krishna or Lord Sri Ramakrishna. So love, concentration and knowledge. And Krishna adds, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha at the same time you have to fight also. That is your duty. Fighting is for Arjuna, not for us, thankfully. So we have to continue to do our duties in the world. The Lord has placed us in such a situation where we have to do a certain duty and we have to continue to do that duty. That is Karma Yoga. There are two beautiful words in the Gita. It comes in the 11th chapter, 55th sloka. It is considered as the essence of the Gita. The 1155, that verse is considered as the essence of the Gita, both by Sri Shankaracharya and Sri Madhvacharya. That is an interesting thing about this verse. Manmana bhava madbhakta madhyaji matkarma kritu matparamaha, etc. These two words, matparamaha, matkarma kritu. Matkarma krit means we have to do Lord's work. Until now it was my work. I am the doer. We have taken up the agencyship of every one of our work. No longer. We have to give the agencyship to the Lord. Lord is the doer. What I am doing is Lord's work. No longer I am doing for the sake of my own selfish ends, for money or to gain some worldly prestige or to live happily in this world. No. I want to please the Lord. I do every work to please the Lord. As the worship of the Lord, the work becomes worship. Work becomes contemplation. The work itself will become the meditation. It will please the Lord. Lord will be very much pleased if we can do every work in the spirit of dedication to Lord. The work is dedicated to Lord and we have given up our agency. No longer it is my work, it is Lord's work. The doer is God, work is Lord's, and the fruits of the work also belongs to Lord. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have right to do work, not to the results. Indeed, whether we like it or not, it is a simple statement of truth. We have no right for the results. The results come from God. Results belong to God. So we have only one duty, to concentrate on work. Doing every work with utmost sincerity, perseverance and dedication to Lord, with full of devotion. Ramanujacharya in his Bhagavadgita Bhashya says, Karma Yoga is also a form of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga in action is what is called Karma Yoga. Bhakti Yoga within the mind as sentiment or thoughts about God is Bhakti Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga in action is Karma Yoga. It doesn't make any much difference between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. If we can do devotion, work with full of devotion in our mind, within mind, love of God, and outside, the same love of God should be transformed into action. Action with loving devotion to Lord. Love itself should become action. This is the message of Lord Krishna. So we have to continue to do our work, whatever work we may be engaged in, but we should try to love God and go on remembering Him with full of concentration and with the knowledge that Lord is the Supreme Lord, who is the Creator, who is there everywhere. He is omnipresent, omnipotent, Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman. And this is the essence of the Gita, the message of the Gita. So Gita is condensed Veda. That is why we have to study it. It is to the credit of Lord Krishna. He posited popular religion for the sake of spiritual pursuit. Popular religion was not for the spiritual pursuit in its time. Rituals are meant for only worldly pursuits, to gain some wealth or to go to Swarga. This was the motives behind these rituals, sacrifices, etc. But Krishna said, no, no, no. Every work, every action, every thought, every emotion is meant for spiritual progress. And one can live a spiritual life while living in the world itself. And inspiration and sustenance for this great teaching had come from the Vedas themselves. Because the Vedic sages had realized the truth, they had lived the life, great spiritual life. And Krishna got inspiration for his teaching from none other than the Vedic teachings themselves. And it is a spiritual structure, the Bhagavadgita is a great spiritual superstructure, I can say. This edifice has a strong foundation. It has got a foundation, firm foundation, solid foundation. The solid foundation is the philosophy of the Upanishads, the Vedas themselves. So even a common man can dream of spiritual upliftment, mukti, freedom from bondage, thanks to Bhagavad Gita. But for it, we would not have dreamt of leading a spiritual life. It will offer even a common man how to go about, how to live, how to think, how to meditate, how to love, so that one can reach God. So what we have here is integrated spiritual development. It caters to our body, we have to work, karma yoga. It caters to our mind and emotions, that is bhakti yoga, refinement of emotions, refinement of our sentiments, and we are directing our sentiment of love towards God, that is bhakti yoga for us. And concentration, power of the mind. We are directing towards God. We concentrate on God, the beautiful form of God in our meditation, or try to concentrate on the work of the God. We get the power of the mind. And lastly, we use our discrimination, our discernment, our intellect to know about God. What is real, what is not real, what I have to do, what is the purpose of the life, what I have to give up, what I have to hold on to. So, Krishna teaches life itself. So, Bhagavad Gita is the book of life. So, the greatest achievement of the Lord Krishna is to bringing Vedic religion and philosophy to all sections of society. It was not at all given to the ordinary section of the society in the earlier times. Only sophisticated aristocratic people belonging to the higher classes of society were enjoying the benefits of the spiritual teachings enshrined in the Vedas and the Upanishads. But Krishna said, no, the God belongs to all, spirituality belongs to all, Adhyatma belongs to all. So, as Swami Vivekananda Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda did in modern time, Krishna broadcasted the essence of the Upanishads and the Veda to every section of the society, even to a common man, a cobbler, a farmer. Everyone can live a life of spirituality. That is the guarantee of Lord Krishna. He guarantees spiritual upliftment, spiritual improvement to everyone in the society. Let us try to understand the four components, four important segments in the Gita. One is spiritualized action. Krishna is Jagat Guru. He had infinite compassion towards the common people like us who are suffering, doing day-to-day work. We are in miserable condition. We do not know where this work will take us. We are always in bondage, suffering, whining, complaining about this life. We have no meaning and continue to do this work day after day, night, day. Same thing again and again, the whole life. So life was meaningless for us. And Krishna came and taught us how to convert, how to transform each work into something spiritual, something meaningful. Oh, what I am doing now, I am a teacher. I am not doing this profession only for the sake of money. I can do it as the worship to the Lord. My children, my students are my gods. I am worshipping God by teaching to them. Here you see the transformation of action. It is not a change in work, but in change in outlook, transformation in outlook, attitude towards work. Every work becomes worship. I will again remind you the beautiful praise of Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Aradhanam Karma. Every action should be Aradhana, adoration of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna says we have to be detached. Asakta buddhihi sarvatra jitatma vigataspuraha. Here lies the essence of the Karma Yoga. Asakta buddhi, detached. So we should not crave for the results. We should not crave for the worldly success or the name and fame. No, it is unspiritual. It is not spiritual. Our spiritual goal should be the sole purpose of doing every action, even an ordinary action. Asakta buddhihi sarvatra, he says. Everywhere develop this detached spirit, detached mind. Jitatma, have control over your mind. Be free from all kinds of passions that are troubling you. Do every action in a quiet manner, peaceful manner. Don't indulge in any kind of evil work because they trouble you, trouble your mind, trouble your spirit. Always do good works, but do it in peaceful manner. Never attach to it, attach to the results, attach to the worldly ambitions. Vigataspruhaha. Be free from all kinds of desires, worldly desires. As Sri Ramakrishna says, it is good to have desire, but that should not be worldly. We should have only one desire, how to realize God. Here in these actions, we should have only one desire, one goal, how to please the Lord with my action. If Krishna is pleased with my action, I feel my action is blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed my actions are also blessed. And Krishna teaches us to do every work as yajna, sacrifice, dedication. In the Vedic times, the yajna was confined to physical yajna, pouring ghee in the fire, sacrificial fire. And Krishna expanded that idea, universalized that idea. Every action you do with dedication, with an unselfish manner, for the sake of society, for the sake of the nation, for the sake of others, ultimately for the sake of God, surrendering your agencyship, the action itself, the fruits of action, everything to God, and that will become the yajna. Don't worry, you need not do any yajna. Go on doing every work in the spirit of yajna. Yajnartham karmanaha anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. If you don't do work in the spirit of sacrifice, you will get into bondage. What is bondage? Transmigration. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Again and taking birth and suffering in this worldly life with full of passion, anger, hatred, attachment. So we are already living in the hell. We need not be afraid of going to hell. We are already living in the hell-like situation here. So we need not worry, because Krishna helps us to get over that. Krishna lifts us from this ocean of samsara. Uddharati. So uddhara means uplifting, lifting. So we are immersed in the worldliness, samsara sagara. Krishna is there to lift us. He doesn't lift you by just directly. He wants every one of us to study his Gita, study his teachings, and follow his teaching in letter and spirit. That is the wish of the Krishna. Krishna doesn't want any fruits or the delicacies from you. We can offer. It is good to offer, because later we only take it. There is no harm in that. But better worship, the best puja we can offer to Krishna is Gita Anusandhana. I told you the three meanings of Anusandhana: sincere, thorough study, depth of Gita in depth, and contemplating on that, and adopting the teachings of the Gita in our life. So we have completed the spiritual action. Now, next time, we will go for other three segments of the Gita. Divinized love. What is divinized love? Bhakti yoga. And sublime meditation. What is sublime meditation? Dhyana yoga. And lastly, profound knowledge. So what Krishna is teaching in the Gita is spiritualized action, divinized love, sublime meditation, and profound knowledge. Thank you very much. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.